every team has now officially revealed what they're going to do for their Centennial season. Well, at least the original 6 teams, of course. The next teams to do so aren't going to do it for a number of years. So today, we're going to take a look at every single original 6 teams jersey as well as anniversary patch for their 100th anniversary celebration, and we're going to rank them as well. So before we do so, if you guys are new to the channel and you like hockey jersey content, please make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. Starting us off at number 6, I have the Toronto Maple Leafs, so my favorite team. Now, the reason I have them at number 6 is because they didn't really do anything for their Centennial season. Like, they did things, but I wouldn't really call it, or at least classify them as a Centennial celebration. Yes, they introduced new jerseys in that era, which are their current home and away jerseys, but that felt, at least to myself, like a more ushering in of the new era of the Matthews, Nylander, and Marner era, as opposed to a Centennial celebration, even though that jersey, is in a way throwing back to old jerseys. Like, the logo is, similar to some older logos. It didn't really feel like a Centennial celebration. It felt like it was coming either way, whether it was the 100th celebration or not. During that season, they did also introduce a new jersey, which was this one right here, but this was the NHL 100th Classic. So it was celebrating the NHL's 100th season, not the Leafs. There was 2 games, and the Habs, Red Wings, and Senators also participated in those games, so it wasn't a Leaf-specific thing. Of course, they did have their own Centennial logo, which is this logo right here, and I do like this logo a lot. It looks really nice, but the Leafs never wore this as a patch on the jersey. They, for some reason, just didn't decide to put it on their jersey whatsoever. It was only included as a helmet decal, just right there on the side, so quite disappointing there. However, they did have an alumni jersey with this logo right on the front. I actually like that jersey a lot. They didn't really sell it to the public, or at least not like wildly available. I know it is on Jersey Baron, or it was on Jersey Baron. I thought about getting it a couple of times. Maybe at some point I will get the jersey, if it even is still available. Honestly, I haven't checked probably in a couple of years. It is a really nice jersey, but yeah, it was an alumni game, so doesn't count whatsoever. The only argument that you can make that the Leafs really did anything for their Centennial season is their next century game, which they basically wore an arenas throwback. So this is the jersey that they wore. It was only for one game against the Carolina Hurricanes, and that's it. So that was their biggest celebration during their Centennial season, and honestly, to me, it still doesn't really feel like a Centennial jersey. To me, it feels more like the Leafs planting the seeds for their next generation games, which they've been doing ever since that 2016-17 season. That was called the Next Century game because it was their Centennial season. After that, it's been called the Next Generation game, which, if you guys don't know what it is, I'm assuming most fan bases probably don't if you're not a Leafs fan. Basically, it's just a game, focused more on the kids. They'll have little avatars on the Jumbotron of all of the players, and they kind of look like Fortnite characters. They're afternoon games. They're usually played against the Carolina Hurricanes, and it's usually a crazy game for the most part, so that Next Century game was also a very crazy game. It didn't really feel like a Centennial season jersey, especially because it was only worn for that one game, so I don't really classify it as such. I've seen a lot of people say that it is their Centennial season jersey, especially on Instagram. They have all the different, Centennial season jerseys and are asking people where to rank it. And they usually use this jersey for the Leafs. But to me, it's not their Centennial season jersey because they didn't do anything for their Centennial season. If I did have to concede and say, yes, that is their Centennial season jersey, honestly, it's not like I would put them that much higher. I would only put them at number 5. I wouldn't go much higher than that. I do like certain aspects of the things that the Leafs did during that 2016-17 season, during their Centennial year, but none of it was really a celebration of their Centennial season. I am sort of holding out hope that they decide to do a celebration of when they actually became the Maple Leafs, because of course they were the Arenas, then they became the St. Pats, and then halfway through the 1926-27 season, they did become the Maple Leafs. So I'm kind of hoping that they do something in 2027 to celebrate that 100th anniversary, but I don't think they're going to do so. I think they're just going to stick with what they did, and at least to myself, it felt very lackluster. Speaking of lackluster, we can go on to number 5, and that is the Chicago Blackhawks. So the Chicago Blackhawks barely did anything. I guess they did a little bit more than what the Maple Leafs did, but realistically, not that much more. They really only partially updated their home jersey in a way. They added a gold outline around the logo and the numbers themselves, some gold in the Tomahawk C right there as well, and then, added some laces, kind of change the collar a little bit, and have the Stanley Cup wins in the bottom hemline. That's it, though. It's not really a lot, and honestly, if people did not realize that they changed their home jerseys, I wouldn't really blame them. They did also add the Centennial patch on the jersey as well, so I do have to give them that, although the Centennial patch is pretty boring. It's nothing really too special. It's not like it's terrible, but I don't really get too much out of it, to be honest. Now, before I could upload this video, we did actually get a leak of a new jersey for the Chicago Blackhawks. It is a black third jersey. So I did do a video on this already, if you guys want to check it out. As of right now, I'm not entirely sure whether this will be part of their Centennial season or not. Since it was just a leak, there is no confirmation. On a podcast back in August, Jamie Faulkner, who is the president of business operations for the Blackhawks, did talk a little bit about the black third jersey, because there was rumors about it at the time, and the podcast hosts, asked her about it. And all she said was that, they were kind of more focusing in on the Centennial home jersey right now, just because they had released so many jerseys over the past couple of seasons. So she never directly said that the jersey wasn't coming out this season and it was going to be in a future season. It felt like more of a deflective answer, which I think does make sense. And it's possible that this jersey, this black third jersey, was supposed to be a surprise from the Blackhawks. That's at least why I think there wasn't a direct answer there, or at least part of the reason why there wasn't a direct answer. Now, for me, do I think that this jersey is going to come out this season or next? I think it is going to be this season. I think it's going to be part of their Centennial season, even though there's no indication of a Centennial year on this jersey. There's no anniversary patch. There's nothing in the back of the collar. There's nothing on the hemline, which I do find a little bit strange, because I think almost all Fanatics jerseys at this point so far have had something either in the back of the neck or along the hemline. So the fact that this jersey has neither of them is a little bit weird, but, I guess it's not terrible. Why I think this jersey is going to be part of their Centennial season, though, is because, A, Fanatics did send this jersey directly to a fan, obviously on accident. They didn't mean to. I have a hard time believing that it would happen if it's over a year out. Like, it probably shouldn't happen either way, but the fact that it would be, not this season, but next, I feel like that is a little bit too crazy. I don't think that would happen. As well as the fact that I didn't think of this at the time of recording that other video. Someone had to point it out to me, but we're supposed to get a new Fanatics template next year. It slipped my mind when I was making that previous video, and when someone said that, I was like, oh yeah, we're definitely supposed to get that new template. So this one would be technically the old template, the current template. So I don't think that this jersey is going to be for next year. I think it is going to be part of their Centennial season, which does make the Blackhawks Centennial year a little bit better. I like this black third jersey a lot. I know fans love this jersey as well, so that is a positive. I do still wish they added some Centennial aspects onto it, though, which I also find weird because they don't have them on their away jersey either. Like, there's no indication of any Centennial celebration on this jersey or the away jersey. So I don't like that. I find that to be really, really strange. And that kind of adds to the letdown of the Centennial season for myself with the Blackhawks. Their home jersey is barely anything new whatsoever. Their away jersey doesn't have anything new, like literally is nothing new. And then with this black third jersey, even though it is really nice, it should have something to say it's part of the Centennial season. So yeah, before this black third jersey showed up, I would have said that the Hawks were a massive disappointment, but with the addition of the black third jersey, it doesn't move them up. I'm not going to have them at number 4, but it's not as big of a disappointment. Still a disappointment, at least in my eyes though. Next at number 4, I have the New York Rangers, and there is a pretty big gap in between number 5 and number 4, because this is where I start to like what the teams did. With the Rangers, it's not like they went all out, they didn't do anything crazy, but just a throwback to their inaugural season jersey. It looks good. I like what the Rangers did here. And with this jersey here, the more that I see of it, the more that I like it. I really like that light blue. I think that looks absolutely phenomenal. And even though I don't love word mark jerseys, I do feel like it would have been a little bit strange to either put the Shield logo or the Lady Liberty logo on this jersey. I think it would have been kind of awkward for their Centennial season, especially considering that most Rangers fans don't like the Shield logo. I think Rangers fans like the Lady Liberty logo, but I feel like that probably would have come off as a little bit weird. This, I think, is just the much safer option for them. As for the Centennial patch, though, this is a really nice Centennial patch. I do like it. That being said, I do think it looks a little bit better as a graphic on like social media and stuff like that, as opposed to a patch on a jersey, just because, like, especially at the bottom there, it doesn't look super clean. It looks like it's kind of difficult to get the embroidery, right. Probably just because of the fact that it is so small, so it's not easy to get all of that stitching done. So that would maybe be my biggest flaw, at least with this patch here, is that it doesn't look amazing, but it's not terrible. It doesn't ruin the jersey for me. It's just like, it doesn't look as great as I wished it would. I guess I would say my biggest complaint with what the Rangers did is that I kind of wish they did a little bit more. It feels somewhat boring that the Rangers only did a throwback to their inaugural season jersey for their Centennial season, and I feel like that might just be me thinking that way because we did see the Wild do that for their 25th anniversary year. So maybe I'm just thinking that way because that is so fresh in my mind where I'm like, well, 25 seasons, 100 seasons, maybe you should do something else, like maybe have this as the home jersey and then have an alternate jersey that pulls from numerous jerseys throughout your history or something like that. I think that's just in my head right now because the Wild jersey is so fresh in my mind. Probably in like a couple months, I don't think I'm going to care all that much, and I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but just the way that I feel right now, I'm like, yeah, I still kind of wish they did just maybe one other jersey or just something a little bit more than just a throwback to their inaugural season jersey. But that being said, I still like the jersey. I still think it looks quite nice. And now we're into the top three, and this top three, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it was so difficult for me. It was really, really hard. I went back and forth numerous times, and with number 3 here, it's probably the team that I respect the most for what they did during their Centennial season, and that is the Montreal Canadiens. I'm sure all of you guys know, but in case you don't, the Montreal Canadiens had this jersey lineup for their Centennial season. They had their home jersey and then 5 new sort of alternates or celebration jerseys that they wore over the course of 2 seasons. So they did have, 2 seasons worth of celebration. And these jerseys are insane. I absolutely love them. I really like the fact that the Canadiens decided to showcase their jersey history over the course of their Centennial season. I think that is such an awesome idea. And I kind of wish that other teams did that as well. But at the same time, it is cool that only the Canadiens did that, right? Like it was just their idea and just their thing. So yeah, it's a little bit of a thing that I want and thing that I don't, where I'm just like kind of pulled in 2 different directions there. The reason I decided to have them at number 3 though, as opposed to at number 1, because I was really close to doing that, is because these jerseys here are kind of ugly, right? And once again, I like the fact that the Canadiens weren't shy to showcase ugly jerseys from their history, but it is difficult to put them at number 1 when these are the jerseys that they chose. Now, don't get me wrong, I love me some ugly jerseys. I think they are absolutely phenomenal, but I can also acknowledge the fact that they don't look very good. That blue sea there, I actually think that one is okay. It's a little bit weird for the Canadiens to use blue, even though they have done that recently twice with the reverse retro series. The barber pole, that is the big standout, where that is a horrendous jersey, especially with the customization. The customization, which is the blue block font behind the numbers, is absolutely just, it's terrible on the eyes. It is such an eyesore, but I once again, it's just so ugly that I'm like, come on, like I kind of have to love it. The white one with the blue stripe behind it, which I think is like their 1945, 1946 jerseys or something like that. Those ones I do think are nice. I think that is a legitimately nice jersey for the Canadiens. The green leaf, it does give off Christmas vibes. Slightly not a great jersey, but not terrible. That one is, I think, fine. And then the last one there, that one is okay. It is similar to what the Canadiens just wear straight up, and I think what the Canadiens wear straight up is a little bit better, so that one does fall down a little bit. And as for the Centennial patches that they wore, so there was 2 of them. The one on the bottom, that is what they wore on their home and away jerseys. That one is very bland, kind of similar to what the Blackhawks are doing for their Centennial season and their anniversary patch. So yeah, I don't like that one a whole lot. It is a little bit more special just because it has seasons in French and in English, but it's still pretty bad. I don't like it a whole lot. I do like the one up top though. That one is sweet. They did have that one on those Centennial celebration jerseys. I like that one a little bit more with the 100 kind of in nice loops right above the 1909 to 2009. So yeah, that top patch, a little bit better. Bottom patch, not quite as great. But yeah, I just respect the Habs to go ahead and showcase all of those jerseys there. That is just a ton of fun. Then at number 2, I have the Boston Bruins. So with the Bruins, they had a brand new home, away, and alternate jersey for their Centennial season. That's also awesome. Unique. Not another team has done that so far. And I really do like that a lot. I like their home jersey and their away jersey. I wouldn't say they're like phenomenal looking jerseys, but I like the fact that they implemented some gold on those jerseys. That is really neat. That is unique for the Bruins as well. But I'm kind of saving it here. The third jersey. That is an amazing jersey. It's the one that I have on right here. And honestly, it is my favorite Bruins jersey. And it's one of my favorite jerseys of all time. I love this thing so much, man. I love the cream as the main color of the jersey. The brown up top with the yellow. I think the colors work so well on this jersey. And the logo right here, kind of being a throwback to their 25th anniversary logo. That's a really nice touch. A really cool throwback for the Bruins. It has the felt numbers as well, which I love felt numbers. My sole complaint with this jersey right here is the fact that it only has one shoulder patch. It's the anniversary patch, but honestly, I really think they could have put it on both shoulders. It's the same thing as the home and away as well. Those only had one shoulder patch. But yeah, if you take a look at the anniversary patch, it is so similar to what the Bruins used to wear on their home and away jerseys. So realistically, you either could have had that old shoulder patch on the other shoulder, or you could have just had two anniversary patches. I don't think it would have been a big deal. And I like the anniversary patch as well. I like the fact that it is so close to what the Bruins used to wear on the shoulders. So yeah, it is a very disappointing aspect about these jerseys, the thing that I hate most about them. And then, of course, as well, the Bruins did have a Centennial game jersey, and this Centennial game jersey, it's nice as well. It is so similar to what they are going to be wearing going into next season, though. There's some changes with the cuff striping, and I think the neckline as well. But yeah, like, it is very, very similar to what the Bruins have gone back to. And that's fair. It's a nice jersey. I do like it. Definitely not as much as this jersey right here, but it is a very clean looking jersey. And I think it was kind of cool that they did also do a Centennial game jersey as well. I like that aspect for the Bruins. If I did have to complain about something with the Bruins Centennial season, is it was a little bit strange that they went with their Centennial season jerseys, then they went back to the regular home and away, and then this upcoming season, they're having a new home and away. So 3 different sets of jerseys in 3 years. It's a lot. It would have been probably better if they did decide to go with a new jersey last season and kind of just have that, go along after their anniversary season. I think that would have been a little bit smoother, but it's not a huge deal. And it's not really a knock on their Centennial season, since that doesn't really have to do much with that year in particular. Which leaves the Detroit Red Wings being at number 1. So with the Red Wings here, I think they did such a good job with this jersey. This is one of the best Red Wings jerseys in their history. Now, I don't quite have it as the same height as this one. I think this one is a little bit better, at least in my opinion. So why do I have the Red Wings ahead of the Bruins then? And I think that mostly has to do with a couple of factors. First of all, I do like the anniversary patch for the Red Wings more than the Bruins. I think their anniversary patch is the best one by far. I really like it a lot. And I like the fact that the Wings did something a little bit different with their Centennial season. Now, I'm not saying that they went anything crazy with their Centennial season. It's just different enough for the Wings, because with the Bruins, they are kind of used to doing some crazy jerseys, or at least some different jerseys. You have the Pooh Bear jersey, you have their Winter Classic Meth Bear jersey. They're fine with doing something a little bit wacky. With the Red Wings, though, they like to play it really safe. They do not stray from their regular jerseys all too often. They do kind of with their specialty jerseys, but even those, I would say, are somewhat safe to a point. Where this one here, it is a safe jersey, but it is still really nice. Like, it is similar to what the Red Wings do currently wear. It is a red jersey, it has the wing wheel on the front, and it has white stripes. But the white stripes are an off-white. They're not just a regular white. There's more stripes on this jersey than usual. The wing wheel has some chain stitching in the logo, and they also added the faux leather patches with the captain's and alternate captain's patch, as well as that little jock tag at the bottom, which I don't love the jock tag at the bottom. I don't know if they are going to be wearing that during the game. When they were showing off the jersey, the players did have it on their jersey, so I hope that's not the case, because the jock tag is really strange. I don't really like that aspect of it, but that's the only part of the jersey that I don't like, and it's a pretty small portion of it. Outside of that, yeah, it's just a really clean looking jersey for the Red Wings. I love the customization as well. I think that looks great. It's just a beautiful looking jersey, and like I said, even though it isn't that different for the Red Wings, it's different enough, at least in my mind, that it kind of puts them at number 1. I really like what they did. But like I said, when I talked about the Habs, if you asked me in like 25 minutes, I might have my top 3 swapped. That's how much I like what the teams did and how razor thin, that margin is as well. It is just so close. I really like what the Wings, Bruins, and Habs did for their Centennial season. I think all of them knocked it out of the park. They did a really, really good job. But of course, those are just my thoughts. I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on all my social medias. I will be ranking all of the off-season jerseys as well, because there was so many. So I'll probably do that in a couple of days. I'm trying to sort of wait as close as I possibly can until the regular season starts in case we get one more jersey release, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think all of the jerseys that have been released so far in the offseason, that is what we're going to get. With the jerseys that we're still waiting on, I think we'll get them during the regular season. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.